Hello Drive Radio fans, Richard Rush here today with my dad John Rush behind the camera, and we're going to take a look at the 2015 Kia Sedona, which is all new for this year. Kia has completely redesigned this minivan, and let me tell you, they did a fantastic job. It has a lot of great features on it, and I'd love to show them to you, so let's take a quick look around the car and we'll get started. The first thing that you'll notice is actually, in my opinion, one of the most prominent features on this car, which is the front grille. Kia has put their aggressive, prominent front grille on this car, and in my opinion, if you take the front portion of this car, and you'll see why when we get into the interior portion and show you the front seats. If you take the front half of this car, it drives like a car, looks like a car, feels like a car. Especially love the the xenon headlights that they've added on. But as we go down the side, and you can see some of the great body lines, I'm going to go through a few of the features. Some key features, some of which you'll be able to see now, some of which you'll have to see later. They've put a console in between the front seats, a second row recliners, or you have the stow and go option. It has a nice crossover design, great infotainment system and dash. On this model, which is the SXL model, it's their top of the line, top tier trim level. Some things you're going to notice: 19-inch wheels, front and rear parking sensors, heated and wood grain steering wheel, second row lounge seats they call, and I like to call them, again, like I mentioned before, quote unquote recliners, and along with it's a technology package on this car, which includes auto high beams, surround view camera system, lane departure, adaptive cruise, and forward collision warning. But overall, this car actually was a blast to drive. It is front wheel drive. Some of you may have noticed our Toyota Sienna review from a few weeks ago. Main difference there, the Toyota Sienna was an all-wheel drive, like we mentioned, only in that segment, front-wheel drive. In terms of the snow, we didn't get to experience this car, this Kia Sedona, in the snow, but we have full trust in the fact that it would be able to perform extremely well. But with that, let me tell you what, let's go for a drive. We'll show you some of the interior features. We'll come back and go through the interior, which is where the meat of this car is in terms of the functionality and features, and a lot of the different value for this car is on the interior. So let's take a quick drive. All right, fans, we're here for the driving portion of the 2015 Kia Sedona. Really encourage you to watch the full review because we go through a lot of different features. But some features we didn't get to in the other portions, or we're not able to have a chance. I like to point out in terms of the rear, or I guess the back seats, the second and third row, you do have the option for controlling all of your own air conditioning, heating needs, full climate control back there. You also have the option of a sunshade right back there on both sides, and actually, and it's hard to see, but you have it for the third row as well. For the third row seats, those back seats, or those back windows do go down, which is a great feature, and for lighting purposes I'll keep that up. But yeah, you can see that the back shade does have the ability to go up, which again is a nice feature that Kia has included on this car. We're going to talk about here in a little bit the second row seats, which is what my dad John's sitting in right now in terms of the functionality of those. But overall, this car really is awesome. And before we get going, I'm going to talk about some of this, and actually I'm going to try and get out of some of the sunlight here so that we have a little bit better. Actually, we need to go the other way. Sorry. Go this way so you can kind of see. You can see right here the all-around camera system. It is showing me a front view, and it's showing me an overhead view of everything. So if you're pulling up to a curb or you're pulling into a parking space, you can definitely get in very, very easily. It actually gives you a nice ability to see everything. You can change the different modes, but again, some very nice features. Rear view camera, again, shows you where you're going, shows you the direction, all the niceties of that. One thing I will point out, which is what Kia has put on here, is the UVO system, which you can set speed, location, curfew limits, and actually I can attest to this. I was heading home late one night, actually around midnight, and it actually popped up, you are past your curfew. Or I was getting on an on-ramp and was trying to merge with traffic and got up to about 76 miles per hour, and it beeped at me, your speed limit is set at 75. So if you have the kids driving this car, or a friend, or whoever it might be, and you need to set you want to set limits or know where they're at, it's definitely a nice feature to have in terms of that. But with that being said, let's take a quick drive. And one thing you will notice right here, love Kia's setup here. We've mentioned it in other cars, so I'm not going to take too long to do that right now. But love how you do have physical knobs for everything, the tune and the volume. And you also have, in addition to your touchscreen, all your physical knobs for all of your different locations. But as we get driving here, on this SXL model, you do have 3 driving modes: normal, comfort, and eco. You're not going to notice too much of a difference in all 3, but this car really does, in my opinion, in all 3 modes, drives very, very well. Is very quiet on the inside, and I will kind of be quiet here for a second so you can hear what this car sounds like. And it's interesting too because we actually have a pretty windy day here in Colorado, and so it's definitely nice to not have to hear that on the outside. Even if, as we were sitting there, the wind gusts up to about 35 miles an hour today, and you didn't hear any of those. One thing I will say about this car, which I don't know if it's a con, just one thing that this car does not have that the Sienna did have, is Toyota's Easy Speak. Which, and Dad, you can probably attest to this, sitting in the back, it's easier, it's not quite as easy to hear me as it was in the Sienna. Can you comment on that?
Yeah, the easy speak gives the backseat passengers definitely the ability to hear the driver a lot more. Although I will say that this car is so quiet inside that I'm not sure on this car that's a really big factor.
And again, something that you will have to consider, and for if you're hauling a lot of kids and you have that third row, it might be more of an effect for them if mom doesn't want to shout or dad doesn't want to shout. Something you have to consider. But overall, driving comfort, really do like this car. If you're curious about what's underneath the hood, it is a 3.3 liter V6. We've been able to average about between 22, 26 miles per gallon, depending on who's driving it. And in terms of get up and go, has plenty of that, and also has one of its best in its class braking capacity. So you're able to brake as needed, which is a great safety feature. But overall, really enjoy this car. Very comfortable car to drive. And with that, actually, let's head back, do the interior, and I'm going to give you my opinion of the 2015 Kia Sedona. All right, fans, we're back from the driving portion, and we've done this on the past several Kia reviews we have done. It's also some of the Hyundai, which Kia and Hyundai have put a great feature on these cars, which as you kind of come closer, it's a smart tailgate. So as I get close to the car, I have the key fob right here in my pocket, nothing in my hands. I'm going to approach the car, and it will sense the key. You can hear the beeps, and then it's going to open. And if you'll notice, I will point this out, you can see the rest of the car still is locked, which you can see by the folded in mirrors, but now the back is fully open. I can do everything I want, which is a great segue into the back. And as you can see, it's hard to see with the lighting. We do apologize about that. There's some nice deep deep storage back here that you can put. And again, with the seats, which we've done, and I'll show you, all you have to do is similar to the other minivans we've reviewed. You just pull, it kind of goes forward, push it down, and you are now locked into place, and you now have full storage. One thing on this SXL trim package is you'll notice the lounge seats, which you can see one of them is already back, and we'll show you here in a second the other side and how to do all that. But you can't get these stow and go seats, which is what Kia calls them, in the second row. So your capacity is limited to 7 passengers. And not quite as much cargo room. You can put those seats all the way forward, whereas with the second row bench seat, you could call it, you can actually fold it all the way to the floor or all the way flat, whereas this one you cannot. So something to consider. But overall, really love the back seat here. Love the storage, how you honestly, to me, it's a more than enough cargo room, but something you'd have to be the judge. You do have the ability to, again, power close this. All right, everyone, let's head on to the interior of the 2015 Kia Sedona. Something that you'll notice on this, which isn't standard on all Kia or minivans for that matter, but you do have the automatic rear doors. Just pull that. It's going to open automatically. Also from the key fob, you can open both side doors as well as the trunk. So I'm going to hop in. Actually, I'm going to open this door right here so you kind of get a full side view of what the Sedona looks like, and really do love the look of this car, the way that they've done the interior. I am going to hop in here real quick and show you the passenger reclining seats. So this is the meat of the car, in our opinion, in terms of what this car offers you. You have armrests on both sides here. You have the capability of, let's start with here, and I'm just going to kind of go off of here. I can move forward if I would like, so I can move all the way forward if you need to give the people in the back more room, or I can go all the way back. And this is the key feature, which is what is a huge selling point to me, which is you can recline all the way back, and oh, not to mention, I can pop out my footrest right here, and your footrest can slide forward for the longer people. So the one downside is if this seat is back for the person in front of you, which we're going to try and move it forward here for you just a second, you can see I'm about 5'9", 5'10", but see my legs are all the way forward. I'm kind of relaxing on them, so you can take off your shoes and be comfortable. I can actually lay all the way back, and if you had their optional rear entertainment system, this would be a blast to drive. So if you have 2 kids, 3 kids, whatever you have, this is definitely, in terms of people comfort, and that's a big word for us in this car, people comfort, Kia has done an amazing job at putting this car together. So I'm going to put this forward, sorry here, and then I'm going to sit up here real quick, and then I'm going to move myself forward a little bit, and I'm going to also, here real quick while we're in the back seat before I hop out, you do have a charging port right there, or a plug-in to where you can plug in a video game system if needed. You do have a charging USB right there, and you do have your cup holders that are definitely a nice feature to have with it. You're not having the stow and go seats back here, and you will notice the rear view sunroof, which I have the capability of controlling right here, or if I'm in the front seat, I have the capability of controlling it right from there if I am the driver. One thing I will point out to you all real quick here is a feature that's not on other minivans, is the option to actually shift these seats side to side. So I'm here and I can pull it. So if I need more room for someone to get from here, climb in and get to the back, I can do that. But then at the same time, if I want to be able to recline, okay, I just move it in forward. So you can see that it has a nice ability to go side to side if you need the extra room. And you can see I'm doing this with one hand, which is really, really simple, really easy. And again, you do have the automatic closing doors. They just push right there. Doors are going to close automatically. So with that, let's head to the front seats, and then we'll wrap up this review, and I'll give you my opinion of the 2015 Kia Sedona. All right, friends, we're on the front seat here of the 2015 Kia Sedona, and this is really where Kia has done a great job of making this car feel like, or this minivan feel like a car crossover versus some of the other minivans we've driven. We mentioned the Sienna earlier in the review. This isn't a bad thing, it's just something that you've got to consider. You'll notice you have a full, complete center console, gear selector right here, shift knob, shift lever, handle, whatever you want to call it. Everything is right here, whereas with the Sienna, you had this nice open. The only thing storage-wise, and this is only on the passenger side, you have your little 12-volt outlet or car cigarette lighter, but it's not that anymore these days. But you have the storage right there. You have the 2 glove boxes right here where you're able to store whatever you might need to insurance, owner's manual. This is the big difference, and you'll notice along the sides, Kia has done some nice things with the wood grain on the sides, the different leather trim, which right there you can see everything is the soft touch feel, except for the very top plastic part right here. But again, this is where Kia has tried their very best to make it a car feel, crossover type feel versus a minivan feel. Some people would say it's a downside for you women. One big thing for us with the Sienna was the ability to put their purse right here instead of having to put their purse here or even in the back seat. A great feature to have, but something you're going to have to decide for yourself. Do you want the car feel on the inside? Do you want the minivan feel? You have a nice glove box storage here. I will point this out. This is a very nice feature that Kia has done. So this actually moves back and forth if you want. So you have the ability to plug into a USB port. You have another 12-volt outlet right there. And you have the ability to put, again, some deeper storage right there. And if you want to go right here, you can fold it down so you have that deep storage. Or you can put this forward, and you'll notice, which a lot of cars don't have, is this for your phone or device, the ability to actually run your cord without smashing the cord. For us tech geeks, it's a huge factor. But overall, this car really is great. We went over some of the interior in terms of the infotainment system, some of those features in the driving portion, but really enjoyed this car. It comes equipped with the technology package, which has the cruise control or adaptive cruise control, forward collision warning, lane departure warning, the front camera, in the surround cameras, which we again showed you then. Overall, really impressed with this car, but before I instead of doing that, I'm just going to tell you my opinion. So again, this has been the 2015 Kia Sedona. All right, everyone, we're here for the opinion portion of the 2015 Kia Sedona. A big pro for me right off the bat is the price. This car is $43,000 and some change. and the base price of $39,000 and some change, so under $40,000 for this car, for this top of the line trim level, and you get a lot of nice features for this car. It's very, very hard to beat, and Kia is, as not only on this model, in this segment, but in their other cars, they have preached that they have a lot of value for the money. The second thing that I really like is the interior. Love the interior features, the infotainment system, the just the overall comfort and quietness of this car. And the last thing kind of segues into that is the people comfort. We mentioned that before in terms of, and you see we're sitting here in the rear or the second row seating. It's extremely comfortable, extremely quiet on the inside. Love the front seats. Everything about this car really is great. Downside to me, lack of cargo space on this trim level. You don't quite have quite as much because of these recliner seats that we're in. You don't have quite as much storage that you would like to have in a minivan. And again, you're going to have to be the judge on that. And the other thing, depending on who you are, is the fuel economy for this top of the line isn't quite where the other models in its segment are in terms of overall. We were able to average between 22 miles per gallon and 26 miles per gallon actually. The car is rated for an average of about 19, so again, something to consider. But overall, really did enjoy this car. Who is this car for? Anyone in the market for a minivan. And honestly, some of you who are even kind of debating minivan crossover, I would encourage you, get out and test drive this car, test drive other cars, because some of you are going to want that minivan feel, that storage capability that this car doesn't provide. Some of you are going to want the creature comforts that this car provides, the people comforts, versus some of the other minivans. So again, this is the 2015 Kia Sedona. Head to your local Kia dealer and tell them that John and Richard Rush from Drive Radio sent you. All right, Drive Radio fans, thank you for joining us for our latest review. If you like this review, check out our website, drive-radio.com. We have a lot of cars, tips, and tricks that you can find on there if you're a car lover like ourselves. If you like the website, like our reviews, head to the YouTube page. Drive Radio, no spaces. You can check out a lot of our other reviews there. If you like those reviews, we have a radio show set every Saturday from 10 a.m. till 1 p.m. here in the Denver market. You can find us one of three ways. First way is on the website, which is 560thesource.com. You can find us on YouTube. We stream every episode live. Or you can check us out on the TuneIn app, which is just 560 The Source. You can download that straight to your phone. But thank you for joining us. We appreciate all your feedback, all your views.